Hi guys, I hope you all are doing well and welcome to the next video of Microsoft Intune series. In the last video, we talked about how to deploy PowerShell scripts in Microsoft Intune to automate certain processes on Windows devices. If you have missed that video, you can click on the link that you can see on your screen. In this particular video, we are going to talk about Windows updates. We will learn how you can manage updates on the Windows devices with Microsoft Intune. We will talk about update rings. We will talk about feature updates, quality updates. We will talk about all the options of update rings policies in detail. I will demonstrate you practically how you can configure update ring policies, how to control feature updates, and how to assign specific quality updates on Windows machines. With Windows 10 operating system release, Microsoft introduced a servicing model known as Windows as a Service, which means that instead of getting a new version every 3 to 5 years, you now receive incremental updates to speed up the integration of new features and to simplify the process of keeping devices secure and supported. So as a result of this new servicing model, we now have two main types of updates for Windows 10 and 11: feature updates and quality updates. Feature updates are technically a new operating system version. Feature updates are released once a year during the fall, that is around September or October. Feature updates include new features, GUI improvements, and other updates those are important to improve the security and the overall experience of the operating system. Also, feature updates are bigger in file size if you compare them with quality updates. A feature update size can be around 3 GB to 5 GB. So in nutshell, when installing a feature update, you are technically installing a new version of operating system. Whereas quality updates are the important updates that your computer downloads and installs automatically every month through Windows Update. Quality updates are also called cumulative updates. Quality updates are released every second Tuesday of every month, and this day is also called Patch Tuesday. Quality updates do not include new features. These updates include the updates those are required to fix bugs and errors, patch security, and the updates those are required to improve reliability with the current version of Windows operating system. In Windows 11, we might get quality updates along with new features, but for Windows 10, we do not get new features along with quality updates. So in nutshell, feature updates are the whole new version of operating system that is released once in a year, and quality updates are the cumulative updates released every second Tuesday of every month. Now let's talk about the update rings. Update rings are used to apply feature updates and quality updates to the Windows devices. In nutshell, update rings are the policies. Those are used to manage feature updates and quality updates on the Windows devices. You can use update ring policies to upgrade Windows 10 machines to Windows 11 as well. Now let's talk about the prerequisites. Those are required to be met before you start managing the Windows updates in Microsoft Intune. The devices must be running on Windows 10 with version 1607 or later, or Windows 11. Update rings are supported on Windows 10 or 11 Pro, Windows 10 or 11 Enterprise, Windows 10 or 11 Team for Service Hub devices, Windows Holographic for Business, and you can also use Windows 10 or 11 volume licensing version. But some of the features of update ring policies are not supported on these devices. So let's move towards our lab and let's configure Windows updates in Microsoft Intune. If you want to check what quality updates are installed on a Windows machine, go to Start, Settings, and here click Update and Security, Windows Update. Under Windows Update, you will see option View Update History. Now here under quality updates, you can see all the quality updates those are installed on this particular machine. So let's go to Microsoft Endpoint Manager and let's configure Windows updates. So to manage updates on Windows devices, you will go to Devices and under Devices, under By Platform, click Windows. And here you will see update rings for Windows 10 and later, feature updates for Windows 10 and later, and quality updates for Windows 10 and later. We are going to talk about all these three policies in detail. So first, let's talk about update rings. So click here and click Create Profile. Give it a name. For example, let's give it a name Update Ring. Go next. Now here you will see all these settings. From these settings, you can manage how and when devices will install Windows updates. So let's talk about all these settings in detail. So the first option that we can see under update settings is Microsoft product updates. If you want that Windows update should scan the applications for the update, then select allow. That means while installing the update, if you want that the applications installed on the machine should be scanned, in that case, you will select allow, else you will block this. Next is Windows drivers. If you want that Windows as a service should scan the drivers on the machine and update them, so you will allow this setting, else you can block it. So basically, how does this work? Earlier, we used to get driver software or the driver updates from the device vendor. But with the help of Windows as a service, these updates can be managed from Microsoft Intune. Next is quality update deferral period. This value is in days. In this field, you can specify a value from 0 to 30. This value means when Microsoft releases a quality update, after how many days of that update release date, the quality updates should be applied on the device. Let's say if I specify 5. So that means if Microsoft release a quality update today, after 5 days from today, this policy will apply those quality updates on the machine. So that is quality update deferral period. This particular setting is for quality updates and this setting is for feature update. This value is also in days, but here in feature updates, you can specify a value from 0 to 365 days. So like we discussed for quality updates deferral period, same way for feature updates, we can decide after how many days of the release of a feature update, this policy should apply those updates to the devices. So in nutshell, deferral period is you can control from here after how many days of the update release, the updates should be applied to the devices. So that you can first monitor if the update is compatible to the applications or you do not want the updates should be applied to the devices as soon as these are released by Microsoft. So let's say if I mention 7 days here, that means if Microsoft will release a feature update for Windows 10 or later by today, after 7 days, this feature update will be pushed to my devices. So from here, you can control quality update deferral period and feature update deferral period. Next is upgrade Windows 10 devices to latest Windows 11 release. If you want to upgrade Windows 10 machine to Windows 11, you can select this option to yes, and the eligible devices will be updates to the latest version of Windows 11. When I say eligible devices, that means there are few prerequisites that need to be met on the devices before you upgrade them to Windows 11 using this policy. So the next value is set feature update uninstall period. Let me first set it to no. From this particular option, you can control the behavior of uninstalling the updates. For example, if I mention here 20 days, then the devices on which feature update was installed before 20 days, you will not be able to uninstall those updates from the devices. Next is enable pre-released builds. There are three types of pre-release builds. If you click on enable, you can see here three pre-built releases: Windows Insider Release Preview, Beta Channel, and Dev Channel. Under Windows Insider Release Preview, you get the access to the next version of Windows before it is available globally. That means the version is not yet released to the entire world. This is still in releasing phase, and if you select this option, you can force that update to the devices. Under Beta Channel, you get the updates. Those are reliable and are validated by Microsoft. And under Dev Channel, you get the latest features and updates for Windows devices. Those are still in work in progress mode. That means the updates, those are still in development cycle. The development is still going on. So let's select not configured. And next is user experience settings. Under user experience settings, you will see automatic update behavior, from where you can specify the behavior of how automatic updates are installed and if required, when to restart the device. The default value is auto install at maintenance mode. So the first option is notified download. If you select this option, then the user will be notified before downloading the update. Next is auto install at maintenance time. If you select this option, then updates will be downloaded automatically and the device will be restarted during the maintenance time or when the device is not in use or is not running on battery power. And when a restart is required, user will be notified for 7 days that you need to restart this device. And in case if user doesn't restart the machine within 7 days, the device will be restarted forcefully. Next is auto install and restart at maintenance time. In this option, the updates are downloaded automatically and are installed during the automatic maintenance when the device is not in use or it is not running on battery power. Next is auto install and restart at a scheduled time. If you click that option, you will see these settings from where you can manage or you can control the behavior of automatic restart. From here, you can control the installation frequency and day and time. But if you do not specify any value, in that case, the updates will be installed at 3 a.m. Next is auto install and reboot without end user control. Under this option, the updates are downloaded automatically and are installed during the maintenance time or when the device is not in use or is not running on battery power. In this option, the end user controls are set to read only. That means end user can't control the restart behavior. And the last option is reset to default. When you set this option, Windows as a service will automatically determine the active hours of the device. And using the active hours, Windows then schedules the best time to install updates and it restarts the system after the updates are installed. So as per your business requirement, you can select any one of these options. As per Microsoft, the recommended option is auto install at maintenance time. From here, you can control at what time you want updates should be installed on the machine and what time the device should be restart. From here, you can select those settings. Let's select it to notify download. Next is restart checks. By default, this value is set to allow. And if you select this value to skip, the updates will be allowed on the device and the device will be restarted even if the user is actively working on the machine or even the device is running on battery power, provided the battery power is more than 70%. Next is option to pause Windows updates. If this value is set to enable, then users can pause the installation of updates for a certain number of days. But if you select disable, in that case, the users will not be able to pause the installation of the updates on the machines, and the default value is enable. Next is option to check for Windows updates. If this option is set to enable, in that case, the users can scan the devices for the updates using Windows updates setting. And if you set this option to disable, this will restrict the users from accessing the Windows update scan. Next is change notification update level. From here, you can control what type of update notifications user can see. Under here, you can see options not configured, use the default Windows update notifications, turn off all notifications excluding restart warnings, turn off all notifications including restart warnings. So from here, you can control the notifications, that what sort of notifications users should see when updates will be installed on the machine. Next is use deadline settings. From these settings, you can control the restart behavior of the machines. Microsoft recommends that you set this option to yes and configure below values as per your business requirements. So let's talk about these options also. It says deadline for feature updates. Under this option, you can specify the number of days from 0 to 30. For example, if you specify a value 2, in that case, you have 2 additional days for the deadline to reach. That means if you have applied a value for feature updates, for example, 7, that means after 7 days, you will have 2 additional days for the feature updates to be installed on the machine. Same way, you can specify for quality updates, let's say 3. So that means if you have mentioned a value for quality updates as 7, so after this deferral period, you will have 3 additional days for quality updates to be installed on the machines. And under grace period, you can specify a value from 0 to 7. For example, if I mention here 2, that means the users will have a grace period of additional 2 days after the deadline, whatever the value is mentioned here. After this deadline, user will have a grace period of 2 additional days until the restart occurs automatically. And the last option is auto reboot before deadline. By default, this option is set to yes. But if you leave this option set to yes, in that case, the machine will restart automatically before the deadline. And if you set this option to no, then the device will not restart outside of active hours until the deadline is reached. So let's create this policy. So let's set 7 here and let's select 4 here. You can set any value as per your business requirement. I do not want to upgrade to Windows 11 and uninstall period will be 20. And let's leave it not configured, notify download, allow enable, and notification level will be use the default Windows update notifications. And I'll set deadline settings to not configured. Let's create this policy, go next. And now here we have to assign a security group of devices. So let's go to groups and let's create a group here and let's add this device. So the host name of this device is 18J. So let me open another tab here for devices and let me quickly copy the display name of this device. Go to Windows and this is the device, copy. Let's go to groups and create a new group and let's name it as updates. Membership type will be dynamic, add dynamic query, and here add display name. Operator will be equals, paste the value here, click save and click create. So the group is created, updates, and let's go to members. We can see the devices added as well. So let's go back to policy. Under assignments, under included groups, we will add the group that we just created, updates, select. We can see one device is added within this group. Go next. You can review the changes from here. If you want to make any change, go back, make the changes, and then click create. So now this policy is created. You can see here update ring successfully assigned. This is created and the policy is assigned to the device as well. That means to the group as well. Now let's go to the device and let's pull this policy from Microsoft Endpoint Manager. So let's go to settings and go to accounts, access, work or school, click info and click sync. Now once this sync will run, and if you go to Windows updates, we should see a notification here. So while this device is syncing with Endpoint Manager, let's talk about feature updates and quality updates. So let's go back to Microsoft Endpoint Manager. So under update rings, you will see feature updates for Windows 10 and later and quality updates for Windows 10 and later. With the help of feature updates for Windows 10 and later, you can select the Windows feature update version that you want devices to remain at. That means, let's say for few devices, I do not want feature updates to be installed. Or let's say I want few devices should remain at a particular version of Windows 10. For example, 1909 or a version of Windows 11. So in nutshell, feature updates policies prevent a device from receiving a Windows feature version that is later than the value specified within the update range. Let's say you have specified Windows 10 version 22H2 in update range. And in feature updates policy, you have mentioned Windows 10 version 21H2. So the device will be upgraded to the latest version, that is Windows 10 22H2. But if you have mentioned Windows 10 version 22H2 within feature update policy, and the lower version is mentioned in update range, so in that case, the device will remain on the latest version. So basically, you can freeze the devices on a latest version of Windows with the help of feature updates policies. So let's talk about all the options of feature update policies in detail. You will click create profile, give it a name, any name of your choice. And here you will see feature update to deploy. Under here, you will see the feature updates for Windows 10 and 11. You can see the version as well, 21 H2 and 22H2. For Windows 11, we have 22H2. So let's say if you want that your devices should remain at Windows 10 version 22H2, you can select this option and your devices will remain at this particular feature update. Next is rollout options. Under these options, you can configure the schedule options for Windows updates. From here, you can manage the update rollout options. Now let's talk about quality updates. Let's go to quality updates for Windows 10 and later. Click create profile. You can give it a name, any name of your choice. And under here, you will see the quality updates. Those are available. Now here you will see the date when these quality updates were released, and you will see the build number, and you can see the name as well. Now here you can see letter B on every quality update. This letter B indicates the quality update was released on patch day. That is every second Tuesday of every month. Next option is number of days to wait before restart is enforced. From here you can control how soon after installing the update a device will automatically restart to complete the update installation. So from here you can control the quality updates for the devices like we discussed about the feature updates. Now let's go back to the Windows 10 machine, and we are still waiting for this sync to be completed. So let's go back to accounts. Let's initiate sync again. Go to info and click sync. So the sync is completed. Now let's go back to settings and let's go to update and security. So here we can see some settings are managed by your organization. Earlier we were not able to see this notification, and it says view configured update policies. So here you will be able to see what settings you have configured within the update rings. You can see here notify to download updates, get updates for other Microsoft products. And from here you can see quality update deferral period, feature update deferral period. You can see all the options here. Those are configured within the update rings. So this is how you can manage the Windows updates in Microsoft Intune. In the next video, we will be talking about enrollment notifications in Microsoft Intune. So that is all for now. I'll see you all in the next video. Thank you guys. Thank you for your time. Take care.